welcome back to my political commentary series, otherwise known as Valkyrie. Thank you all for tuning in. So, I am recording this the 1st of June, 2024, early in the morning, broadcasting live from the heart of Empire. Thank you all for tuning in, whether you are watching this in video format or whether you are listening in on audio format. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate you engaging with this content. So, I normally don't read or engage with Politico at all because Politico is the epitome of establishment media, where Politico is trying to walk a line down the middle and trying to appeal to all sides, and when in reality they don't appeal to anybody whatsoever. But I found this article interesting. So I'm just that alone, just not instill confidence if you're the Democratic Party. A pervasive sense of fear has settled in at the highest levels of Democratic Party politics over President Biden's re-election prospects, even among office holders and strategists who had previously expressed confidence about the coming battle with Donald Trump. So basically, what they say in public and what they say in private is a complete 180. All year, Democrats have been on a joyless and exhausting grind through the 2024 election, but now, nearly 5 months from the election, anxiety has morphed into palpable trepidation, according to more than a dozen party leaders and operatives. Basically, there's absolutely no confidence in Biden. And there's even no confidence in Kamala Harris because her approval ratings are abysmal, even worse than Biden's. Biden's stubbornly poor polling and the stakes of the election are creating the freakout. The reason why everyone's freaking out is because Trump is running ahead of Biden in most battleground states. And there's only 5 states that matter this election cycle. The 5 states that matter are Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Georgia. Only ones that matter. I mean, there are other battleground states, but those aren't even really of concern, really, in my opinion, because those aren't the 5 that'll decide the election. The concern has metastasized in recent days as Trump drawn to some of the country's most liberal territories, including New Jersey and New York. Trump's fundraising outpaced Biden by 25 million. One advisor to major donors provided a running list that has been shared with funders of nearly 24 reasons why Biden could lose, ranging from immigration and inflation to the president's age, the unpopularity of vice president, and the presence of third-party candidates. I would also add the failures of Ukraine and the genocide in the Gaza Strip, but again, I don't expect Politico to touch on those because Politico is, again, the epitome of establishment media. What else do I want to talk about in this? Yeah, there was a handful of sentences touching on the Dobbs decision. If Biden really wants to win an election, he really needs to lean into abortion. If he wants to turn out suburban voters who care about abortion access, then he needs to start talking about it more. But Democratic critics of the campaign's approach, while agreeing that abortion should be a winning issue, they are challenged when pressed by friends to make the case for why Biden will win. Basically, they're saying that he can win, but it's not looking likely at the moment. So in the swing state of Michigan, there was a Democratic primary, I think a couple months ago. I touched on this, but there was over 100,000 voters that voted uncommitted, basically a protest vote against the president, which is not a good sign if you absolutely need Michigan to win the White House. If you have 100,000 voters of your own base telling you that we're not agreeing with anything you're doing right now, that's an issue. That's an issue. Biden's weak numbers, especially in New York, Biden is leading Trump in New York by only 9 points. In 2020, he won the state by 23 points. This is absolutely embarrassing. If you are only winning New York by 9 points, that's terrible. That is absolutely atrocious. This cycle, Democrats have to contend with the war in Ukraine, which has been an utter failure. The conflict between Israel and Hamas. And they quoted Richie Torres, which is classic Politico, because again, Politico is establishment media, and Richie Torres is a APAC stooge who has sold his soul for campaign donations. So they quoted Richie Torres, which I'm not going to discuss because it's a waste of my time. Basically, the whole article here is touching on the fact that Democrats in public say we're in lockstep with President Biden, but in reality, they have absolutely no confidence in him whatsoever. So, very interesting stuff. So we'll see how this all pans out. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Deuces.